What a special episode we get today. You want to know why? It's because we're going to get an episode that releases the day of that we filmed it. Because yesterday we tried to...
live.
Practically, essentially live. It's like a live stream right now that we post later in the day. And the reason why we didn't do it yesterday and the reason why I didn't release yesterday's podcast is because we didn't finish yesterday's podcast. Because how many times did we have? Not one.
4 times.
Not 2. One would think that it would take us 3, but then actually put more 2 on there. So 5 attempts got destroyed just because Kellan wasn't there mentally and just really stressed out. And
there were little distractions.
May or may not have slammed his head on the absolute table in frustration.
Okay, I don't know.
It was a hype. I didn't actually do that.
Yeah, no.
Don't look at my... It hurts you.
So stupid.
But
no, he's
tons
fine.
of stuff to talk about, and I'm in a much better mood today.
Yay, the sun's shining. Yesterday we
pod.
did it. Yeah, yesterday we did it in the evening, so it was dark out.
Just the night pods give off a vibe that isn't.
It's a bad energy.
Especially we just don't want that. And we were grinding, and my dogs just started absolutely barking.
Yeah, they were going crazy.
And they're psychotic, so that's a no-go.
It's hard to focus when they're barking a lot, so that was the first initial trigger, and it spiraled from there. But here we are today. It's a new day.
Here we are today, and I feel like a consummate professional right now. I'm just in a zone. I'm ready to drop knowledge, and I'm ready to talk Pink Panther movies, okay? Because me and Bianca, there's absolutely nothing to watch on Netflix right now because we've already consumed all of the amazing content, and we're going to talk about something else.
Well, there's some content that we haven't consumed that I would like to watch that I don't think you're in favor of watching. So coming to an agreement is the hard part, and I was shocked when I threw out Pink Panther and he agreed. You know?
There's things out there that we have to figure out, and there's a really interesting line, a deciphering line called like me watch and together watch. Like that's a you thing and a my thing, and we just really have a hard time finding that because we like watching the same things.
Yeah.
And there's movies she wants to watch that'll be like,
it's a little bit more of
don't feel bad if you just want to put that on for yourself.
That's what he always says. If there's like a girly movie or like a rom-com, it's always like, that's a you movie. Like watch that on like you time. And I'm like, okay.
But Pink Panther cinematic masterpieces, honest to God, didn't have the greatest Rotten Tomatoes score, but screw Rotten Tomatoes anyway, okay? Screw Rotten Tomatoes.
Our new thing is we don't look at the Rotten Tomatoes score anymore beforehand. We just go in blind.
I would give Pink Panther 1 solid 7, Pink Panther 2 solid 6.8. A little worse.
You would say
worse acting.
It's almost pretty much equal to you, though, huh?
Worse acting in number 2.
Better,
huh? Yeah, number 1 was a lot better.
Yeah, usually how it is.
One thing that I really wish that we didn't scrap was the fact that I had a little bit of a rant. I went on a little bit of a tirade talking about Rotten Tomatoes and how their reviewing system is complete ass, considering the fact that we saw that movie Amsterdam and they gave Amsterdam a higher rating than Halloween Ends, and a running joke between
lower rating than Halloween.
Lower rating than Halloween Ends. And me and Bianca, obviously, we have this inside joke where anything that is complete ass, we just replace that and insert Halloween Ends. Like, this smells like Halloween Ends. This movie is Halloween Ends. That's our
literally,
thing. Literally,
if something smells bad, we'll
and
be
I guarantee
like,
we're the only people on planet
Earth. Smells like Halloween Ends in here.
Wait, what's that?
It smells like Halloween Ends.
Like, instead of Up Dog Bro, it's literally Halloween Ends. So
we literally were dying on our way home from the drive-in when we saw
like
that.
A skunk or something. I feel like. Oh, were you just saying Up Dog?
We were just saying that the movie was ads, like it wasn't very good, and then it did. We like our drive-in theater is like on the back roads of Oregon, so it smelled like manure and stuff, and we're like, it literally smells like Halloween Ends. And then ever since then, now we say
it's a running joke that is never gonna go away. And
I love
you know what? I'm not here to shit on Halloween Ends. All right,
that's all we're doing.
No, the Halloween franchise.
Literally calling it shit.
Like that movie was just completely unnecessary and just a waste of energy.
Well, like it could have been good, like because a trilogy, like to end like actually killing Mike Myers or whatever. But like they added unnecessary like storylines and characters, and like the acting was just bad. I love Jamie Lee Curtis though, so I don't discredit her as an actress.
It was just an overall downgrade from when the first one came out, which was a really good premise of him escaping a bus from jail.
Yep.
And then the next one was
and
like,
the house catching fire.
The guy literally is getting when he was attacking like the fire people.
Yeah, and they had to like get out of the burning house.
Yeah, that was wild. But then after that, it just started.
It just was like random killing. It just turned into like a gore fest.
A gore fest that was like try to make it artsy, and it's like, dude, I'm not grooving with. You can't make.
All they did was try to make
fun.
Yeah, just kill people for fun.
I don't like that.
Okay, that's our quick rant on the Rotten Tomatoes score of Halloween Ends and Amsterdam.
Not as funny as the footage you'll never see that it gets deleted into the Appleverse, but you get the premise of what we're talking about.
Yeah, there was some funny footage of us.
Yeah, one of the other things that I had us do, since it was Wednesday and Wednesday's Andor Day, because
Andor meaning the Star Wars show on Disney Plus. If people don't watch that, Andor Day.
It's a national holiday every week. Same with Fridays. Friday is Great British Bake Off Day.
That's something that I'm proud to say I got Kellan into. You would never know looking at him that he's really into the Great British Bake Off show. And he is. That's become our thing. And they do it like really perfectly. They drop it like every season, like towards like Halloween, like holidays. And then they have like a holiday one. And so that you really get Great British Bake Off all year round.
And the kids version now.
Oh yeah, and they've already had that one. They just only added one season of it.
I just
want to
base
watch
everything
more
off
of
Netflix.
it. I know that one's good too. Okay, we're talking too much about shows.
Why?
You don't think?
No.
Okay, good.
Should we save Star Wars for the end? Because the other episode I did, I started off with a little Yoda. I said, "Ready, are you?" or something like that.
You said something about beginning.
Back we are.
Yeah. Yes.
Back we are.
Yes.
And I thought, since I think that there is enough, let's just
Star
do it
Wars
now.
fans?
We're already on the topic of shows.
Okay.
I think we have to do this, and I changed it up a little bit. We're gonna go by tiers. All right. So now the Disney Plus platform has released 4 decent Star Wars shows, and we've watched all of them. And because we're not,
they've released more, but we're talking about like
the real action ones. Okay,
not like the cartoon.
We got Boba, we got Mandalorian, we've got Obi, and now we have Andor. Andor's not completed, but we have seen enough of body of work of it to understand what it's about. All right.
So far, that one I think has had the most episodes, because haven't all of them only had like 8?
Yeah, Obi-Wan was only like 6.
Yeah, some of
Mando's had 2 seasons though, so
yeah, that's true. But Andor has 12 episodes total. So
and the Book of Boba Fett wasn't that long either. I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
No, but we're gonna go tier list, okay? Because I want to give Bianca, she's passionate about this, all right? And she will tell you why and break down why each show is where it should be, like in terms of tier list. She will tell you why. She'll break it down for film expert, all right?
I'm not a film expert.
Star Wars tier. So we got A tier, B tier, C
so
tier.
it's pretty much just
D,
1, 2,
F,
and 3?
D/F. And tell me whether it's a D or an F, all right?
I don't think any of them are D's and F's. That's the issue.
I could give an F. You could maybe give
You could. I don't think any of them are actually F worthy.
Give me your DF.
I don't have one. I would put them.
Okay, give me your 2 C's.
Okay.
Give me your 2 C's.
Okay. Do you want me to write it down, or we just
say it?
Okay. A.
If you write it down, if it helps you.
Yeah, I might actually have to visualize it. C. Oh wait, no.
And then for the A one, tell me whether it's A or S tier, because there's a difference. S is baller status. That's what it stands for. A is just a pretty money show that you would recommend to friends. Like, I would say Ted Lasso's an S tier just for reference. And then I would say like an A tier show would be like New Girl.
You're giving... Wait.
Is that a hot take?
You're giving New Girl an A?
Yeah, Ted Lasso's better than New Girl.
Are you serious? Wait, you're kidding.
No, I think
you have not laughed more in Ted Lasso than you ever have in New Girl. We
but
have
I also didn't watch
episodes.
all of New Girl in like. I mean, granted, there were only like two seasons.
You're telling me if Ted Lasso had 7 seasons, it would last as well as New Girl has? No.
Okay, funny is relative. I personally love the sports aspect and laughed a decent amount. I can pound for pound
I don't know if I can sit here right now.
Okay, Nick Miller is the funniest.
And Schmidt and Winston and Coach and Jessica Day.
No, yeah, the New Girl is really funny, but I like Ted Lasso more. But I can't rewatch Ted Lasso episodes. Okay, but like in the moment when I'm seeing it, it's definitely better.
Like if a show is better, it means you can rewatch it. You can keep watching it. It's like one of those feel-good shows you just always go back to. It's like one of your go-tos. You laugh, like your stomach hurts from laughing so hard. And for me, that's New Girl and The Last Man on Earth. And for you,
well, then if we're going based off that criteria, then The Office is up there.
I'm not that big of a fan of The Office compared to you. Compared to you.
I stopped Bianca on the plane so many times when The Office episodes were on, and just
we were going to Hawaii. We literally would be watching an episode of The Office and just start laughing. You'd pause and go watch, and I'd watch it. And I'm like, okay.
Go out of my way to interrupt whatever Bianca was doing just to show her the stupidest 5-second clip that I thought was hilarious.
And I'm like, okay.
Like there's one where Dwight was throwing a tantrum.
Did you watch the chili one?
Huh?
Did you watch the chili one?
I think maybe.
Because I feel like I remember him dropping the chili. You showing me that. But okay, based off the criteria, New Girl is better than Ted Lasso. Don't get me wrong, I love Ted Lasso, and it's like the directing and the writing is like really good, but like in its entirety,
Jacques Rousseau.
New Girl never disappoints. There was some, you have to admit, there were some boring ass scenes in Ted Lasso. There's some scenes where I'm like, I could skip this part. You know? There's some slow scenes.
Okay. We just agree to disagree.
Okay.
We're not seeing eye to eye right now.
So
clearly.
My seat... it's a joke because I hate that
is higher than mine.
Yeah, my seat's taller than his and it makes me look bigger than him.
I'm not seeing eye to eye. I don't get why that's such a big ass deal, but...
Cause...
Explain your list this moment, ma'am. I see this.
This is my list yesterday.
I didn't realize. See, okay, hit me with it. Oh, I remember now. All right, but hit me with it again.
So this is where Kellan and I disagree.
Drop knowledge.
This is where Kellan and I disagree because in my C tier for the show, which none of them are that bad. That's why there's no one in the DNF. But C tier, let me speak.
We're gonna have a debate here.
In my C tier, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I know, shocker, because that's different. That's different from Kellan's.
She's trying to be different.
As like an outsider of the Star Wars world, like Kellan's a straight up fan of Star Wars. I was introduced by these shows. Yes, you've seen all of the.
I'm not knowledgeable on everything. Jesus Christ! There's some people out there that are like, this happened, and these are the characters.
Okay, you're not
I just like enjoying the shows.
You're not a complete nerd, but like you've seen every movie. You know all of the characters and their stories. I did not know that Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker were siblings. Mm-hmm. There's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to think about some of the stuff for a minute. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, well, so as like an outside viewer, I would say that Obi-Wan, it has more to do with like the actual classic Star Wars characters.
You know nothing about.
Like Darth Vader. I'm not a huge fan of like Stormtrooper like vibes, like the Empire and like the whole Jedi thing. Like that's like Star Wars in itself, but I like how Andor, Mandalorian, and Boba Fett are all about like their individual characters as a whole and like their backstories, you know? So I think it's cool because you actually get to know them and it's not just like, it doesn't feel like you're just getting like spewed Star Wars at you. Mm-hmm. Where like Obi-Wan Kenobi has more, it's like,
I think we talked about this last time. You feel like you're more on a level playing field with all these other
and
ones.
I just feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi has more of like a backstory to it. You have to know more. You have to also like, yeah, I don't know. So that one goes in C. And I just think it was just kind of boring. to me. I don't know. B, I have Mandalorian and Boba Fett tied, and I think that's weird to you too because you didn't like Boba Fett, and that's like been the consensus of everyone I've actually talked to about it.
My argument is
Boba Fett was boring, but I liked Boba Fett.
It is good, but he had Mando come in there, and it saved the show a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it because it was kind of like a 2 for 1.
When you have a different character from a different show coming in to save
I thought it was cool that
like,
you got to see Cad Bane. That was cool. I liked the girl with the long thing.
Oh yes,
she was in it. Like it was cool because there was a lot of like characters that were involved, and like
You're not wrong.
I just thought that one was like
not wrong.
You thought it was a little slow. It definitely was slow at the beginning. They all are. Like that was something we talked about yesterday. Is that the first 2 episodes are always a little like kind of snoozers a little bit, but still good.
Not everyone can be a war scene.
And I don't want a war scene. Just some like, what's gonna happen? Like, oh my god, I like being a little nervous.
Yeah.
But Mandalorian's obviously better than Boba, just in the sense that Grogu's in it. Can't top Grogu. Sorry. His little. Number 1, you and I both agree, is Andor. Because
best acting by far. Andy Serkis absolutely killed the speech.
Like actually that was the other thing I didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi. The actors weren't that good. I love the main guy. Who's the main guy?
Ewan,
that's his name?
McGregor.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
The Inquisitor girl's my favorite.
Shush. The Ewan McGregor is a great actor, but everyone else, not that big of a fan. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, when
I wasn't scared of
when an 8-year-old girl's one of the best actors on the show.
Yeah, the little girl, we were like,
a little bit of a problem there.
She's a little bit better than ever. She's kind of killing it right now.
Yeah, she's literally better than
she's stealing the show.
Adults that have been working their whole life for this opportunity. She's killing it right now. The people that have already went to school to become actors. And
they
she's
just
like
needed to recast a little bit better. Maybe I would like it more. But Andor definitely has had the best acting.
2 huge scenes. It's been like 2 separate movies within one.
I literally thought, and this was when you know it's good, because I just assumed it was only a 6 to 8 episode series because that's how the other ones have been. So I think it was literally on the 6th episode. It was like some crazy, I'm not gonna like spoil anything, but they do something crazy, and I was like, oh, that was such a good season. And you're like, no, there's still a lot more. And I was like, what? I thought for sure that was like the season finale.
No.
And then so it just kept getting, I mean, there is like, it is almost pointless in a sense. Like there's like everything that happens is kind of a little pointless, like, you know.
No, every episode there is, besides like one, I loved.
No, it's all great episodes, and like they're always keeping you on your toes, but it has to do with like money and all this. It's never having to do, it's never like that serious. I feel like I don't know how to describe it. I feel like this has been
the most serious one out of all those shows you just named.
I thought Mandalorian was more intense.
I don't think so. Like the prison
with the guy who comes down.
I've never seen in anything in Star Wars more brutal than those people getting shocked from the floor. Like that's brutal. Like that's like violence at its finest.
We can't spoil it.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, there is spoilers in here, and if you haven't seen it, it's on you. But there's some like there's some different filming in here. I feel like.
Yeah, no, and I thought everyone's been a great actress and actor, and like the storyline's been good. So far, Kellan and I agree. That's number 1.
Mm-hmm. But I have Obi-Wan as
number 2.
I have Andor S tier. I have Mando B tier, Obi-Wan B tier, and Boba Fett C tier. Just because Boba Fett.
Wait, so you have no one in A? You don't even think Mandalorian goes in A? You have
Mandalorian's A actually. Yeah, Andor's S, Mando A, Boba C,
and then Obi B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boba could be a D.
I know you didn't like that one.
Boba could be a D just because someone had to come in and save the show.
No, I think he did great by himself. About getting those one like scary looking guys, and how like those little hut people like helped save him. Like it was a good story. A lot of
wasted time on those ones.
No, it showed how he became, like how he survived.
Yes, you're right. And
that was the thing, is like everyone was wondering how he survived, like from the Star Wars movies. So I feel like that one had more of an impact of learning about him, you know.
I mean, his experiences are relatable just because, like...
We've been talking for 20 minutes about...
I feel that whenever I get a sunburn, was in Hawaii and stepped in the pool, I felt like I was in his little water tank because it felt really nice.
No, we literally said that. We like where you feel like boba or like our water tanks because being in the pool after, having a gnarly sunburn, it felt like heaven.
Yeah, going from like normal UV rays to Hawaii UV rays and not wearing any sunscreen for about 5 hours of sitting on the beach.
It was 6 straight hours in the sun. No umbrella, no sunscreen, swimming in the ocean, and we felt it.
Yeah. But is this a UFC podcast or a
This is a whatever. This is a whatever we want party. We're gonna start calling it a all gear no game entertainment.
Dude, a Pellicula podcast.
Movie review. Yeah. This is your where you get your latest shows and movie recommendations and reviews as
UFC
well
comedy from an absolute expert. Who would have thought that one of the biggest brains behind MMA would have never stepped foot on a mat in their entire life?
That's supposed to be you.
No, I'm just kidding. I know absolutely nothing about this sport.
Yeah.
It showed yesterday too.
Yeah.
Yesterday
really
when I was trying to explain
anything.
something, I couldn't even pronounce women's flyweight division. And you want to get into the women's flyweight division, okay? Since I said it right.
Is that the segue?
Yeah. This entire card, we're going to keep this really freaking
Quick.
concise for you guys, all right? I have 3 topics that we are going to get into and then a couple ones after, and I'm just going to completely skip out on UFC 281 just given the fact that way past that at this point, everyone understands Alex Pereira. That was the craziest fight of all time. Best card.
Biggest upset ever.
Best card. Well, I think Leon Edwards is not.
Yeah.
That one was crazy.
Yeah.
And we, in our last episode, we figured out that Michael Chandler didn't get into the UFC in 2020.
We didn't figure out.
Bianca thought he got discovered this year. So the early onsets are really kicking in for a future teacher of America over here. But
Yeah, because I'm going to be teaching my kids about the UFC. UFC.
well,
Yeah, kids, let's learn about fighting and when they became
hey,
fighters.
it seems like you have some aggressors in your class, though. So
Huh?
seems like you have some aggressors in your class.
Aggressors? Okay, we don't need to talk about
kids
that.
are wild. Okay. Let's get into the UFC flyweight division. All right, I have a hot take for you all, and I don't think that is really that steaming hot. But as I was going through my list, I'd say that it's a solid like, ooh, if you touch the pot, you're like, ooh, that's pretty hot still. But it's not like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital because I just burned the shit out of my finger.
It's like a first degree word, not like a third degree, if that's what he means.
Yeah. But when I was going through last week, if you guys remember our episode last week, that was an absolute banger. Go check it out. I made a list of most underrated fighters in each division, and I was actually surprised to see a bunch of the correlations between some of the guys I mentioned and was thinking about including on that list and this upcoming card, okay? Because I was talking about how welterweight's a little bit. I don't know what's going to happen there, you know? There's going to be some young studs coming up pretty soon, but as of right now, in terms of guys who are going to compete that are underrated, it's really tough. The guys at the top are probably going to stay at the top here for a bit now, but we got guys coming up. And then there's also a girl that stands out amongst others, okay? And she's leading off this beautiful card headlined by Derek Lewis and Sergey Spivak, all right? This woman is, in my opinion, here's the hot take, everybody. You ready? I think that she is the most complete prospect, scariest prospect in the entire women's UFC flyweight division. And the fact that I just said that perfectly this time is an absolute dub in my book because I couldn't say it right in the episodes that failed in prior takes. All right.
And who cares, you know? If you couldn't say it right, like, no one actually cares except for him.
Right. That woman is Natalia Silva. And we all get blessed with a treat because I don't really know. All right. I watched my tape for the fighters. I watched past fights, and for her, Natalia Silva, that is her one fight in the UFC in her debut against Jasmine Jasudavicius. I don't even know how to say her name, but easily one of the greatest UFC debuts of all time, especially in 2022. Best woman prospect we've seen, I think so. The reason why she is so amazing is because the left side of her body, all right, might as well be an AI cyborg because doesn't telegraph her kicks whatsoever, and her left hook is one of the most ferocious hooks and attacks I've seen amongst men and women fighters. The way she pieced up.
I'm like
Jasmine
surprised to see you get this excited over a women fighter.
I have never oohed and awed more in a UFC debut, and then also I've never went back, because on ESPN Plus, when you're looking through the fights, you can go back and just like watch a sequence. The amount of times that I went back and watched the sequence was just flawless, dude. She manages to like circle the octagon, fight off of her back foot, and then also when people think, oh, I'm just gonna have to take Natalia Silva down. Wait a second. We can't do that because she's out muscle the shit out of you, okay? Jasmine Juice the Vicious was on multiple single leg attempts, all right? Tried to take her down. What did Natalia Silva do? She out muscled her. She basically Amanda Lemosed her, threw her on the ground, basically reverse position, and then she's in top mount and then can get back up to her feet. And then put on another striking masterclass. It was 3 rounds of the most beautiful MMA. Just overall amazingness, okay? I just don't know how to put it into words. Like, you guys are just gonna have to watch it for yourself because she's going to be.
I think I need to watch it. I don't even think I've seen it.
Daniel Cormier said it best. All right, she looked like a completely different fighter, and I've never just been like, holy shit, dude. Spinning techniques, kicks from both sides, and the way she can piece up combos and she finds your chin. It's just like. The amount of volume and the way that she was just fighting overall, just like piecing you up, stuffing takedowns, and not getting tired, and fighting off your back foot when like another person is applying pressure on you. Just the whole way that it was just like really abnormal. I feel like, and it's like when someone's that good, you just know that they're extremely special. Like, even though this is that was her first fight in the UFC, you just understand the fact that. Complete issue, because the other girls in the division, okay, Manon Fialho, Jessica Andrade, Katlyn Chookagian, good, but what separates Natalia Silva is the fact that she throws volume, presses the action, and fights like Daniel Cormier says, where she feels comfortable fighting. It seems like a lot of the other girls that win the fights in the UFC 125-pound division for women, they either win on big like. There's 2 or 3 moments that happen in the fight that sway the judges to think that they won. But Natalia Silva, it's like a Valentina Shevchenko thing where they dominated the entire fight. There wasn't a single moment where you think, oh, yeah, that woman. I just think that she's going to continue to put these performances on, and I think that she could be in the top 5 by the end of next year for
and
sure.
She's on this Saturday's
she
upcoming
opens up
card.
the card, bro. It's going to be insane. She's the absolute GOAT. I'm telling you. She is the most exciting fighter in 125-pound division and the most complete prospect, given the fact that she puts it on you, can fight, she can push the pressure, or if you're pushing the pace, she's going to piece you up moving backward. And it's exciting too, bro. It's not like, oh my God, I'm waiting for you to throw. It's not 1 at a time, 1 or 2 strikes at a time like Manon Fialho. It's like we're getting flurries, spinning back kicks, nothing telegraphed. And when you're getting... And it's enough power to put your lights out if it connects with you in the right way, because I think that Jasmine Judovicius was just extremely tough. A lot of the girls in the division, and I feel like other girls would have went out because some of those shots hit clean. I just think Jasmine Judovicius was in really good shape, but high as hell on Natalia Silva, bro. Just everything she does is amazing. But then we have Jack Della Maddalena and Andre Fialho, all right? And these 2 dudes are... I'm going to separate them in 2 different categories, okay? Jack Della Maddalena, going to be one of the biggest problems at welterweight, all right? Just given that's the one thing I actually want to talk about. Natalia Silva, Andre Fialho, and Jack Della Maddalena, their attacks with the left side of their body are ferocious, dude. They finished like all of their last few fights with some form of a left-handed combination, all right? I mean, even though Natalia Silva, she connected with her left hook on multiple occasions. Jack Della Maddalena, was it a left body shot to Ramazan Ameev that dropped him? And then also, I think that he threw a left down the pipe against Pete Rodriguez that sat him down and got him out of there. And also, as we've seen Andre Fialho when he fought Cameron Van Camp or whatever, it was an absolute left bomb that sat him down and sent him into a different world, dude. So these they're just both can switch stance. All of them can switch stances really well, have clean stand up. But Jack Della Maddalena, I think that him He's going to have an absolute war with Danny Roberts, and it's going to be amazing to watch because Danny Roberts is slept on. I think he's like a plus 500, plus 400. And if you want to make a little bit of money, I think Danny Roberts is the best guy that Jack Della and Maddalena's fought. But I think Jack is probably going to solidify going 3-0 in his UFC career. But then Andre Fialho, another clip, baby, another clip. Dude, no matter what fight he's in, win or lose, most exciting welterweight you'll ever watch. Must see TV every single time.
That's a hot take.
Dude, the guy goes in his UFC debut, all right, against Michel Pereira, who doesn't freaking lose at all. Michel's had some tough fights, but how do you want to push the pace against Michel Pereira, all right? Like, it's your first fight in the UFC, and you're getting pieced up a little bit, but that doesn't, like, deter you whatsoever. Just goes to show that you're an absolute stud. Lose for that fight. Come back. I think he beats Miguel Baeza and Cameron Van Camp, and then has to fight Jake Matthews. Jake Matthews' fight was pretty good. Jake Matthews, obviously, we talked about one of the most underrated welterweights, but every single fight that Andre Fialho is in is amazing just because his 1-2, all right, splits your guard. It is steaming hot. Absolute steamer that melts your guard, goes right through you, pops you, but then there's also his left hand, like we were talking about, bro. Comes out of nowhere. It's reminiscent of our boy Joe Pyfer. And one punch knockout power. It's just every time this man steps into the octagon, and apparently has really good wrestling too, but we don't ever see his fights go to the ground because he's always pushing the action. He's only really fought strikers. But I think is he gonna string one together here against Muslim Salikov? This could be this is gonna close out the year as one of probably the best fights of the year, just because Muslim Salikov loves to throw spinning stuff, and even though he will change levels on you, I'm pretty sure Andre's going to be able to stuff the takedown. And I just love the fact that Muslim is going to be willing to stand, and they both just throw absolute stones. So I don't even know. I was going to give a prediction, but I really want Andre to get back on track.
Why don't you give one?
I want Andre Fialho to get back on track, but Muslim Salikov is he's the man. All right, Li Jingliang beat him in his last time out. I think he got cracked a little bit, but
I think I'm gonna give it to Fialho.
There's so many good fights on here. Jack Della Maddalena versus Danny Roberts, Andre Fialho versus Muslim Salikov, Waldo Cortes-Acosta. We were talking about this, bro. Bo Nickel would be mad at me, like I said in my last time. Dude throws fastballs over the top. Absolute bombers. If there's anybody in the UFC that you can get away with saying, hey, this guy throws bombs and not sound like a complete idiot, it's against Waldo Cortes. It's when you're talking about Waldo Cortes-Acosta. I want to see him just like Chase Sherman. I really hope Chase Sherman does good, but I just want really bad somebody to not be scared and go face to face with Cortes-Acosta, because the dude.
What does he look like?
His first fight against who did he fight? Jared Vandera, bro. I just want somebody to be a willing partner.
Oh yeah,
with him.
he's
All right.
Yeah,
because it looks like he's playing baseball out there, and I just want somebody to get in there with him and just really throw down in the pocket like a Tide to evolve.
Santa Boy,
Salsa Boy.
Oh, I was like. Santa
he can change it for the He can change it for the holidays.
He should.
Salsa Boy. He throws salsa. Bowls of salsa. He can make your face look like a bowl of salsa.
I swore that said Santa Boy.
I mean,
Waldo, Santa Boy, Cortes-Acosta.
Is this card not filled to the brim with prospects, bro? Natalia Silva, Brady Eastad, Maria Oliveira, Ricky Tercios, Miles Johns versus
Ricky Tercios.
Yeah, Ricky's on here.
I love that.
Zhalgas Zhumagulov, Jack Della Maddalena, Andre Fialho, Waldo Cortes-Acosta, Kennedy Nzechukwu, Sergey Spivak. It doesn't get any more stacked. This is like watching the future of the UFC maybe like take over a little bit here. This is the new era of the UFC is what we're watching on this card.
That's a good way to put it. Because it definitely...
It's going to follow this. It's going to follow up UFC 281. It's going to be its perfect little compliment. Like we were watching when we were watching Drink Masters. It's its perfect little garnish. It just is like...
It's a little pairing.
It's a little palate cleanser.
Oh,
Gets
that's
you ready.
a good one.
Because I don't know what's going to happen a week after this because I haven't really looked at
That's another show to watch, which I don't know if we've talked about, but Drink Masters on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Very good.
I think we have talked about it a little bit.
Oh, did we? Last episode, maybe? Mm-hmm. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We talked about Tao.
Yeah. I think there's like a couple more other things that I really wanted to get off my chest. All right. So one of my other episodes, like 2 episodes ago, we had technical difficulty because Kellan has so much freaking storage taken up on his phone that I had to get rid of a bunch of videos and put them on my computer. But one fight that was announced that I really wanted to make a clip out of and post, but I couldn't because it was a blacked out screen. Was the fact that Thiago Moises versus Guram Kutateladze got announced. And boys, this is like one of the greatest fights you can ever see in your entire life. And I watched film on this and prepared myself for this moment to talk about this. And then my phone blacked out, bro.
Film on this.
Are you kidding me? Even though I'm like, it's like a blind person watching film because I don't know what I'm watching. I just kind of like understand the gist of it. I'm like, okay, he's got a good jab. All right, he likes to use his hands to set up takedowns, and like that's it.
You know what? You need to give yourself more credit because you know a lot more than you're acting like.
I don't know the difference between like a Darce and an Anaconda joke, okay? But like Guram Kutateladze versus Thiago Moises.
Rear naked choke. She's going for the friggin'. Wait, what was the other thing that happened that they were going for? That was like a reverse thing or like something that I'd never heard of.
Like
and
a backpack?
No, sure.
Body triangle?
No, I've heard of that. There was one that happened on the last card that you were like talking about, and I was like, I've never heard of that. And you know what it's called. And it was something random, like a random ass name.
A guillotine?
No, I've heard of a guillotine.
You put me in those every day.
What is that again?
Bianca pulls guard and puts me in a guillotine every single day.
What's guard?
It's when your head's like this. And then
I do not do that.
She does. Bianca randomly in public, she'll just like pull guard and like put me in a guillotine. We'll be at the movies and I'm just like, okay, we're in the line waiting to get popcorn. And she puts me in a guillotine.
He's seriously lying.
Like, we can't freaking grapple right
Let
now.
me do it.
Like, I get you're a black belt, but they don't have to rub it in my face.
I was in karate as a kid. So don't mess with me. I didn't make it up very far. I think I made it to like, I think you started a yellow belt. I think I made it to like oranger or something.
Bianca likes to take a page out of Michael Chandler's book. She likes to fish hook you. Anything dirty.
Yeah, Kellan was actually really upset about that.
Turned me off.
We still like Michael, but you can't fish hook people.
You can't put your fingers in someone's mouth. Dustin Poirier was talking about it. He said he was biting him.
He was biting him.
Yeah, but then he's like, bro, what am I doing right now?
He's like, why shouldn't I have to bite his finger off?
Yeah, but it said Michael didn't even try to pull out when he was biting
him?
Yeah, because he had his top mouth guard on, so it didn't hurt.
Yeah. Ow.
Wild stuff.
What? Oh, that's annoying. But I said this the video we made yesterday that's never going to be aired. But I said that I wish I had footage of Kellan's reaction during the last fight, the main card, because I've never seen Kellan scream and jump and yell like a little girl in that moment of how excited and crazy that fight was. So
wild.
We're not really talking about that
The
card.
only ever time you're going to get a reaction out of me like that is if the 49ers win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, which would be crazy.
Because I got to release my emotion like we were talking about as if I was going to, if I didn't miss the greatest comeback knockout of all time.
Yeah, he had to miss that one for my sister's wedding. So I've never heard the end of that.
So I got to just like release what I would have done on that.
Real time in that, yeah.
And like we talked about however many times we filmed this episode, I set a really low standard for that fight.
Yeah, that's what we said. Yeah,
and then I had kind of a higher.
Because we were so like, the fight with Dustin and Michael was so crazy. We were like, how dumb of them to make this not like a main event because it was so crazy. We're like, it could have gone 5 rounds or like just how cool it was. And then we're like, there's no way nothing can follow it up. And then that happened. So we were like, it was crazy.
Set a low bar, and then I set a little bit of a higher bar just in case. And then it broke through both of those and reached a whole new level of amazingness that I never really have got to experience in a long time. During an Israel Adesanya fight since Kelvin Gastelum. I said that too. Didn't I say it was going to surpass the excitement of the Kelvin Gastelum fight?
I think you did.
I don't know if it did per se.
How?
But it was pretty exciting because the Kelvin Gastelum fight was pretty insane.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. So.
But I guess we're going to revert back to what we were going to talk about 5 minutes ago, and the fact that we get a fight that we don't deserve as fight fans, but we're going to get it because the UFC is absolute studly. absolutely studly at matchmaking, and we're gonna get Thiago Moises versus Guram Kutateladze. Guram Kutateladze, okay? And I'm gonna explain to you really quickly why this is actually the perfect matchup for Thiago Moises. Or Thiago's coming off that nice dub over Thiago's. His comeback after what did he lose to? Lost to Islam and Joel Alvarez, but we saw how close Guram was to Demirj Magulov, and Demirj Magulov is the standard at lightweight. And Guram really did a really amazing job, especially he put Guram in probably as much adversity as he's been in his entire UFC career in that first round of their fight. And we're just going to get a good test to see how much Thiago Moises, who in my opinion has one of the highest ceilings at lightweight, we're going to get to see how much he's grown and improved since his last loss and coming off his win against Thiago. Because I went back and watched Thiago's fight with Demirj Magulov because they did fight. It was actually closer than I expected. Thiago's boxing is just so crisp, bro. The way he's really Andre Fialho-esque. Clean, sets up his hands for takedowns, but then when it comes to a striking match, the man's going to throw down with you, and I really believe that the grappling against Guram Kutateladze could cancel out, because both of those dudes obviously love to use their hands to set up their takedowns, but it's just going to be really tough, because when you get a guy like Thiago Moises, who actually took Islam Makhachev down in their fight and lasted longer than I feel like a lot of people in recent memory have. I think Islam got Thiago Moises out of there in the 3rd or 4th round, which is more than Charles Oliveira could say, more than Dan Hooker can say, more than Bobby King Green can say. I mean, yeah, I guess Islam really hasn't fought that many good guys. A lot of mid-tier fighters there, but he's still the best in the world. Don't get me wrong, and I can't wait for the Volkanovski fight. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that'll be good. Wild.
But I think it's just the perfect matchup because we just get to see the evolution of, in my opinion, one of the fastest rising guys. He just got a little bit of a sidetrack here. Thiago Moises, it's going to be a clash in the center of the octagon. My early prediction for the fight, though, I really believe that we can't be sleeping on Guram Kutateladze, just given the fact that on any given night, he can beat anybody on planet Earth at lightweight. He just really, the man has to put it together. He has the clean ass kickboxing. Like, he has a ton of kickboxing fights, and he's not afraid to wrestle with you. And if you try to, if a guy that believes they have an advantage taking him down, like, he's gonna get back up to his feet for sure. Sometimes I feel like the clock runs out for Guram Kutateladze, or he just kind of gets pieced up by some good strikers. So, I have faith in him. It's going to be by far Thiago Moises' toughest test in recent memory, but I really have faith that Guram could make a run. I'm not sleeping on him at all. I just really like both of these guys. It does suck that they have to get matched up, but in terms of, it just sucks at lightweight. There's so many good guys that have to get matched up with one another because there's just not another good fights, but it just makes for extremely high level entertainment. And it's going to be a sick ass fight to kick off the new year, I believe, but we can't be sleeping on Guram or Thiago, bro. I just wish there was a way that they could not fight each other. But I think that this is the greatest test for Thiago at the moment, just because in order to become the best at lightweight, what do you got to do? You got to beat the best grapplers in the division, baby. And we already know Thiago can stand with anybody on the feet. He just has to freaking manage not to get touched, because he got touched against Thiago, and we can't be doing that. So, but if Thiago finds a way, gets on the ground, finds your back, it's the lights out, game's over, okay? Because he's going to find that body triangle and sink in a rear naked. Same with Guram, though. You never know, bro. But, yeah. And then, the sickest card of all time, though, just to close this episode out, is UFC 284, bro. Makhachev versus Volkanovski. And the more I'm thinking about it.
It hasn't happened yet, though.
The more I'm thinking about it. The more I'm thinking about it. The more I'm thinking about it. And the more I'm thinking about it. Volkanovski could stay in there. He could hang in there with the guys. He can hang in there with Makhachev.
Kellan called that fight too quick, but you never know.
I didn't think Alexander had the balls to take it. And the fact that he has the balls to take it makes me... I'm going to pick him to win. I'm going to pick Alexander Volkanovski to knock off Islam Makhachev. And then he's going to become the greatest fighter on planet Earth. I know we just can't play MMA math anymore. Every time Kellan plays MMA math, it just comes back and bites me in the ass.
Yeah.
We've never seen Islam Makhachev in trouble besides when he got knocked out. But we have seen Alexander Volkanovski in trouble against Brian Ortega. And when you're in trouble against Brian Ortega, okay, and when you're in trouble against Max Holloway, I guess, those are two guys who would never beat Islam Makhachev any day in their entire life. They fight him 1,000 times and never win a single round. It's just hard for me to believe that Alexander would get the dub, but I just gotta feel like this guy is improving every day. He's not scared of any man on planet Earth, and
that's how they have to look at it.
I just don't see Alexander losing. anytime
You don't see. You mean you don't see?
No, I don't see Alexander Volkanovski losing. I just can't ever imagine him losing. Every time I think he's going to lose, he doesn't.
I thought for sure you were going to say you can't picture him winning against him.
No, I'm saying I can't imagine Alexander losing, bro.
Yeah.
Every single time I count that man out, he rises to the occasion, and he's done nothing but get better since his first or second fight with Max Holloway.
You did say, yeah.
So, I'm picking Alex in that fight. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about
you were gonna pick Alex.
is we've seen some crazy. We've seen Money Moicano with the coming out party. We've seen multiple other guys have some pretty outstanding performances, best of their careers by far. And I think it's going to be no different for Melsik Baghdasaryan at UFC 284. Okay, I really do think that the UFC gave him a tough ass test, but this tough ass test has set up an opportunity for him to show off his skills and become a fan favorite amongst fans worldwide. All right, I think this is going to be his coming out party because him against Josh Culibao is one of the sickest bouts that you could ever make. That Josh Kulibao's fight on the Hiri Prochazka card versus Sungwoo Choi, one of the sickest bouts, most maddening bouts of the entire year. Back and forth, Sungwoo Choi super fast, as we saw in his Mike Trizano fight. They both simultaneously knocked each other out at the same time. But then I think Trizano came back and got the dub. But Josh Culibao, as I was going back, because I remember when he watched, when I think it was his first fight in the UFC. He was fighting at like 170, bro, against Jalen Turner. That was wild. And I was like, oh my God, dude, Jalen Turner is a mountain of a man compared to Josh Culibao. But since then, Josh Kulibao's evolution, man's is a beast. And Melsik Baghdasaryan finally gets a guy that is going to push the pace, get in his face, and surprisingly, which I didn't think was possible, could match him tit for tat in terms of speed on the feet. Kicks are a different story. Melsik Baghdasaryan is otherworldly. His lead front kicks, just everything he does, his spinning techniques. Josh Culibao does not match that, especially just Melsik is so much more of an athlete than Josh Culibao. But on the feet, the way they set up punches, Josh Culibao, he could beat Melsik to the punch, literally. And if he finds Melsik's chin, it could derail my entire prediction about what I think of Melsik Baghdasaryan. But I just believe that unknowingness factor about what's going to happen, and Josh Culibao being as good as he is, I really believe that it's either going to make or break, and we're going to see Melsik Baghdasaryan's potential, or we're going to see him break. But I just don't see a world in which we see him breaking just because of how good he is, no matter where the fight goes. I know that Josh Culibao is probably not going to change levels. If he does, it's going to get stuffed. But on the feet, Melsik's just got to be a little bit more busy. His last fight against Bruno Souza was a bit frustrating because Bruno was just circling around the octagon the entire time, and Melsik was just having a hard time cutting him off and really doing anything with his hands, damaging Bruno Souza. The only thing he could really do is try to kick his legs out from under him and throw body kicks. But Josh Culibao is going to leave opportunities, as we've seen against Sungwoo Choi. He got cracked on multiple occasions, and if he does that against Melsik Baghdasaryan, he's going to go out. But that being said, Josh Culibao, the way that the power that he possesses and the speed in his just overall stand-up game with his hands, if he connects, it's going to be an early fight of the year candidate that we cannot forget about towards the end of the year, because it's always seen February. But it's going to be a banger fight. I wish it was more than 3 5-minute rounds, but it's going to be sick. And Melsik got screwed his last. I think TJ Laramie fell out. His fight with TJ Laramie fell out, but Melsik, as we've seen in 2021, was like one of the sickest fighters we've seen, because Colin Anglin, that left high kick that sat him down, and Melsik was able to display his ground game without getting back up to his feet. But then Melsik obviously got the second dub. But Josh Culibao is surging, should be ranked, honestly. Josh Culibao is just as good as anybody in that division, without a doubt. So I'm going to have to go against my fellow Filipino man and go with Melsik on this one, but it's going to be a hell of a matchup, dude. The amount of the people that Josh Culibao's beat are insane. He had that split decision with Charles Jourdain, beat Shalin Nurdenbecka, who is a powerhouse, beat Sungwoo Choi, who has a fun fight every single time. But I think Melsik Baghdasaryan is going to finally have the opportunity to become a star in front of our eyes, or prove that he has a little bit more work to do, because it's a long layover after coming off an injury. So we'll see if he's the same guy. I think he's so exciting though, dude. He's the man. But That's all I gotta say, dude. 3 stars on this card: Jack Della, Maddalena, Natalia, Silva, and Andre Fialho, and then Melsik, Guram, Kutateladze, Thiago, Moises. It's a fun time to be a UFC fan, my guy. It's a fun time. Really quick prediction though. What's your Derek Lewis or Sergey Spivak?
Derek Lewis. Definitely.
I'm going Sergey.
Really?
These are the 2 guys that you never bet against, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Derek Lewis, you have to always pick Derek Lewis because no matter he's the
That's
underdog.
what I just said.
Yeah.
He's the underdog in this situation?
Yeah.
Oh, I should definitely vote then. Or bet for him.
Because no matter how well the fight's going for Sergey Spivak, because Derek Lewis is getting better on the ground. Like, he can stuff takedowns and get back up to his feet.
Derek Lewis is a scary man.
Extremely scary man. Extremely funny man.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm happy we made it through an entire episode. Not as good as the first half of the other one we had, but
yes, it is
what it is. You make the French flag?
Yeah.
Maintenant, Jacques
Français. Oh, it can also be Italy.
Okay, wait, really quick.
What?
If you could make up a name for your Pink Panther, what would it be? Like, who would you be? I'm gonna do a random French name generator, and then it's gonna be for you. Okay?
Okay. It's gonna be like Collet.
Mama be Kellan. Generate names.
I'm Joselle Levin.
Josiane Levin.
Josiane Levin. And you're Coutin Roche.
No, I'm gonna do another one. Wait, really quick. Wait, there's got to be a better website. You know what I mean?
Fancy French or fancy name generators.
Get male names.
Oh, it just like gives you
changing.
a list.
I'm gonna go with if I was in
You would be.
All right, next one. This is the last one. If I was in
Pink
Panther.
Close your eyes and then put your finger go like that, and I'll tell you when to stop. Okay.
No, I'm gonna pick one random. You can't tell me when to stop
Yes,
because
I'll
it's
tell
gonna
you
be
when
the
to
one you like.
No, I just will tell you when to stop. I won't even look. Stop.
I'm Theodore Lefleche. Lefleche.
Le fish.
Gail Super Casso.
Wait,
Super
go
queso.
to the girl names and I'll do it now.
Girl, female names.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop.
I'll do another one. Those are all. Stop. Peggy Blaze.
You put it on there. Peggy Blaze. That's not even French.
That sounds like a super name or
Blaze.
something.
Iris Plemendig. Ding.
French names are so sick. Ponton.
Jacques Lusson. Ponton.
Jacques Lusson. Inspector
Michel.
Lusson.
Nicole.
Nicole.
Okay, we're done.
We're done.
This is 52
Nicole?
minutes. I'm so sorry to bore you guys with this last little bit.
Later,
If you want to
babies.
find your French name, just look it up. Thank you for watching. Say thanks.